we are going to be turning famous desserts into overnight oats. So when I was little, I found out that my granny used to eat ice cream for breakfast, and I thought that when I grew up, I would also do the same thing. Obviously not the healthiest life choice. So I wanted to take regular boring oatmeal and turn it into a dessert-worthy breakfast that is gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan, and obviously fast and easy to make. I don't want to spend a long time making breakfast. They have to be quick. Starting with tiramisu. I'm only a little bit Italian, but tiramisu is maybe my favorite dessert of all time. It's definitely top 3. So to make it healthier for breakfast, I'm mixing half a cup of oats in a bowl with 2 teaspoons of chia seeds, a teaspoon of instant coffee, 2 teaspoons of cocoa powder, 1 to 2 teaspoons of sweetener, I'm using maple syrup, half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and a little pinch of salt. And then I'm making mine dairy-free and vegan, so I'm using half a cup of soy milk because it's nice and creamy. You can use any milk, and mix it up. We just need to This is basically done. We just need to prepare the cream filling. For the cream, I've got half a cup of plain yogurt here, which I'm adding from one bowl to another. It makes no sense. I mean, that was kind of pointless, wasn't it? And adding 1 teaspoon of sweetener to that and about half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. We're only going to use a tiny bit of lemon, about a teaspoon, and mix it all together. I'm going to be using these little glasses, which I like because they look like a can. But you can use anything. I like these because they're quite tall and you can see all the layers in them. So first, I like to add an oat layer, so like half of the chocolate coffee oats. Then a cream layer, so like half of the creamy lemon yogurt. Then another oat layer, and then another cream layer. And I like to sprinkle some cocoa powder on top. I just go crazy, add a whole lot. And I couldn't resist grating some dark chocolate on top, and then I just put the rest of the piece that I didn't grate on top of the whole thing. It's the final touch. And that is a tiramisu healthy enough to eat for breakfast. Tiramisu cake, tiramisu overnight oats. Ooh, this one smells better. Imagine waking up to the sky every morning for breakfast. This is the star ingredient of this next one. Can you guess what we're making? Lemon cheesecake! Yes. Now before I get a comment from that person saying, "This isn't real cheesecake." No, it's not real cheesecake. But this is healthy enough to eat for breakfast every single day, and you cannot go wrong. Cheesecake that's healthy enough to eat for breakfast. Now, a lot of people think cheesecake comes from New York, but it actually comes from Greece, like way back in the day. I freaking love cheesecake. Here's how I like to make a cheesecake-inspired breakfast. Starting again with adding half a cup of oats and 2 teaspoons of chia seeds to a bowl. These are always my base ingredients for overnight oats. Then adding a teaspoon of sweetener, half a teaspoon of vanilla, and a nice big squeeze of lemon juice, about a tablespoon. You can do 2 tablespoons if you want. And lastly, half a cup of milk. I like almond milk for this one. Any type is fine, obviously. And just mix it up. And then for the cream cheese top layer, adding about 1 tablespoon of cream cheese to half a cup of plain yogurt in a separate bowl with a tablespoon of lemon juice, half a teaspoon of vanilla, and a tablespoon of sweetener. Just mix it up till it's nice and smooth. And now I'm just getting some toppings ready. Grating some lemon zest, which is a must. I highly recommend this. It makes it so lemony and amazing. And cutting up some fresh lemon slices and just putting it together. So adding the lemon oats to my jar first, just making 1 layer, and then adding the cheesecake cream topping on top of that, a fresh lemon slice on top of that, and of course, the zest. I like a lot of zest. Just zest it up. And this is obviously not authentic lemon cheesecake, obviously. But I think this makes a really great healthy breakfast that is definitely dessert worthy. Regular cheesecake. Cheesecake overnight oats. I love this one because it reminds me of when I went to Germany and rode through the Black Forest on a train. Yes, we are making overnight oats inspired by Black Forest cake. So starting with the oat layer, adding half a cup of oats and 2 teaspoons of chia seeds to a bowl again, with 2 teaspoons of cocoa powder, a little pinch of salt to bring out the chocolatey flavor, 1 to 2 teaspoons of sweetener, half a teaspoon of vanilla, a tablespoon of almond butter, this makes it cakey and cake buttery and delicious, and half a cup of milk. I'm using soy milk again, and mix all of that together. And now for the sweet cream layer. Adding half a teaspoon of vanilla and 1 teaspoon of sweetener to half a cup of plain yogurt. I like to use coconut yogurt, and just give that a quick mix. And now for the cherry layer, the final thing. Heating up a saucepan and adding half a cup of frozen cherries in with about 2 teaspoons of water. The water cooks out of the cherries a bit when you heat it up, so don't add too much extra water. And I like to smash some of them up when they start to cook. And if you want to thicken up the sauce, if it's a bit liquidy, you can always add about 1/8 of a teaspoon of cornstarch in. It's really optional, but yeah, it does make it a little bit thicker. And a teaspoon of sweetener, because the cherries might be a little bit sour without it. And when they're heated through, they're ready. So adding the cooked cherries into the bottom of the jar first, get all of that sauce in there. And then adding the chocolate oat layer on top of that. And then finally adding the sweet cream layer on top of that. And I also like to keep a few of the cherries aside to put on top. It's the cherry on top, you know. And this one probably surprised me the most, I'll tell you that. It's very gourmet. It's very fancy, very dessert worthy. This is not your average banana peanut butter overnight oats. This is Black Forest overnight oats. So I wanted to see if we could make overnight oats into delicious dessert tasting breakfasts, and we did just that, so I'm happy. If you are an overnight oats lover like me, which I suspect you might be because you got this far in the video, I've got another overnight oats video linked right over here. It's some of my favorite everyday overnight oats, and I think you might enjoy them. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Which one to eat first? This one.